Yo.
Oh, you and that fucking yo. Every time we go to the gym, he's like, yo, yo.
The funny thing is that
You fucking
I
do.
started that ironically, and then it became part of my vocabulary, which is terrible because it doesn't even suit me. I don't think like it doesn't.
Every
doesn't look
time.
like, and I'm like,
Yo, yo. I'm like, hey, you mate.
It's easy to
He's
say.
like, yo, yo. Okay.
I don't say it like that though. I don't say it in a I don't say it in a way to sound gangster. I say it in like a really like yo.
Then why do you do the
yo,
hand
like
signs?
a really stupid. I
Come-
definitely do
Fuck.
not do hand
You
signs.
do.
There's no way I do hand signs.
You come in like, yo, yo. I'm like, whoa.
Yo, yo.
Yeah, exactly like
Yo,
that.
what's up? I definitely don't do that at all. But I do
I'm
say
like,
yo, which I shouldn't do. I should just
Bloody
say
Australia,
hello.
mate. We
Hello,
say,
audience.
we say g'day. Not bloody yo, yo.
Good day, mate. How you going?
How would an English person say it like a real
Good day.
no, like a real grimy. You right, bruz?
Oh, you alright? Yeah. You alright, mate?
That's your neck of the woods down in the south, eh?
Yeah. And then, do you know what they say in the north? Hey up. They're literally like, hey up.
Help.
It's like, hello. But it's like, A up.
Hey,
Hey up.
maybe it's like one of those ones that's like, hey, what are you up to? And
Pretty
they're
much.
like,
It's like, hey.
hey, what are you up to?
up.
Hey, up.
up.
Not much, mate.
Yeah, well, that's what the English do. They just shorten things that shouldn't be shortened.
That's where the Aussies learned it from.
Yeah, well, the Aussies just shorten it and add an O.
Well.
Smoking. Smoko.
Smoker.
That's
Yeah, it's O, isn't
Smoko, mate. That, I was just talking to Davo the other day, and we were out at Smoko, and fucking Chano's not even talking to us anymore. That is a conversation you will hear here in Queensland.
Oh, that's
I think.
fucked up, oh.
Oi, Savo, we were going out.
I've got a few schooners. A few skewies.
Just having a bloody skewy with Davo and
Are you making
Damo.
fun of Aussies, man?
Not at all.
Suppose-
You know why? I just like doing that accent because I think I do a pretty accurate old man Australian accent. That's not gonna lie.
That's not very accurate.
I
They
think
did
it
literally
is.
not do that.
I lived in
Do it.
Harvey Bay.
Do it.
That's how they talk.
Do it.
No,
Do it.
no, that was it before. Ah, fucking hell, yeah, mate.
That's like a bogan accent.
Yeah, old man bogan, Australian Queenslander like that. Yeah, I'm not not a normal Australian does not sound like that. Just in case.
For the record.
Yeah, I don't mean just old men in Australia sound
Zach
like that.
is making fun of all old people in Australia.
Yeah, definitely. That is what I was doing.
Oh, I suppose we should get to what we're here for.
Yes, welcome to the episode. This week we have a pretty cool guest.
Yeah, we do.
We spoke to McDojoLife, and it was really good. I enjoyed it. You will hear it very shortly. It is a Skype call, so I'd say just...
Came out pretty well.
I think it did. I think the quality's fine. But you will notice, obviously, our mics aren't probably the same as usual, but yeah, that's what you get when you Skype call people.
That's right.
So for those of you who don't know McDojoLife, we do obviously get into it. We talk to him about his page, but if you don't follow McDojoLife, then you can on Instagram or Facebook. He basically posts a lot of the Kung Fu videos that we joke about. So like in our video section, we always...
That's where Zach gets him from.
we call out martial artists and things like that, and yeah, I tend to get them from McDojoLife's page, so definitely worth checking out. But what did you think of
I'm good.
the
I'm pretty
episode?
quiet in this episode because I don't know what the fuck I'm talking about. Zach's over here like, I'm in my element. Unlike our previous episode with Jess where I was in my element.
Yeah, and I was lost
And
in
he's
the
like,
darkness.
what are you talking about?
I also lift weights. But yeah, I had fun. It was good, and it is good. Like, he genuinely has a huge passion for martial arts, which I think is awesome. He like, you can tell, you'll tell by the end of the episode, I think, but he really does enjoy what he does, and he wants to make the name of martial arts still like strong, I think.
And probably the nicest guy I've ever met.
He's really nice, yeah. It was genuinely really good talking to him, and it looks like he's really climbing at the moment. He's doing a lot.
Well
so,
deserved.
Absolutely, and I think he'll just continue to grow.
So,
That's pretty much it.
without
Enjoy
further
the
ado,
episode. We will,
we bring you
yes, bring you
McDojoLife.
McDojoLife. Us.
What the fuck was that?
That's what they do.
Yeah,
Well, thank you for coming on. Really appreciate it.
No, thank you for having me. It's pretty cool.
So you did the karate tournament in US, what is it? US Open?
The U.S. Open, so it's like one of the few martial arts tournaments that's still televised. Like when it comes to karate, anyway.
I wish that sort of stuff was televised here.
So you in, are you like do you practice karate, do you, or what's the go?
I have, yeah. So that's what I started off in. I started off in karate. I'm a third degree black belt in karate, and then I did a weapon system that no one's ever heard of, and I'm a third degree black belt in that. Wow. And then I've done jiu-jitsu for the last 8 years. Amateur boxer 6-0, amateur kickboxer 4-2, and then I traveled doing sport karate for a while.
That's awesome. I'm actually I was listening to a live chat you had. You had a live chat on not long ago, I think, on Instagram, like yesterday or the day before, I think, and that question was asked to you like 3 or 4 times during the thing, but it's like, hey man, what do you do? And I saw you answer a couple of times. I was curious as to what sport karate is, because I actually started karate myself. I'm only a second Q brown belt at the moment, but I've stopped karate since, but essentially I was wondering what sports karate is as opposed to the karate style, the other karate style you did, because if I remember right, you said 2 karate styles, is that right?
Not me personally. Sport karate, I guess you can say, is kind of like point fighting is usually the more common term. So
that's what I did.
Because you have like a couple different ways of doing karate. So you have like Kyokushin karate, which is like more of a full contact karate. Then you have like WKF karate, which is a little bit more like, I guess you could say, a little softer. Right. It's a lot of like glorified screaming while you're fighting and stuff like that. I'm not really into it. Point karate is things like what Michael Page, Stephen Thompson, Raymond Daniels, those guys did before they got to full contact.
Okay, right.
Is it sort of like this, the Olympics with the Taekwondo, where they have like the they wear the chest piece and they got like the round circles and certain areas cause at certain points?
No, it's more like certain techniques. So like depending on which one you go to, their techniques will be different. So like for instance, the average, the more common one is punch is worth 1 point, kick is worth 2. Then you have like the upper echelon guys who like jump spinning kicks. If they land, you'll get more points. Just trying to make it a little more flashy and a little more entertaining to watch.
Okay. So with the obviously what you're known for is McDojoLife.
Yes.
What caused you to start that?
Well, I mean, martial arts has kind of like helped me in so many ways. Like I started off because I got the shit beat out of me in school. So I got actually put in the hospital by a group of like 6 boys when I was younger. They beat me for like 5 minutes. They like stabbed me with pencils and they stepped on my head. 2 teachers watched the entire thing and didn't stop it.
So the only reason, what? They stabbed you with 2 pencils?
And teachers watched?
Well, not 2 pencils, but with pencils, plural. When you're getting stabbed, you don't really count the number.
Yeah, that's fair.
Like, ow, shit, that's 2. That's definitely 2.
That's I saw 2. That's insane, though.
But, yeah, it sucked. I got put in the hospital, but a friend of mine who was already a karate black belt handed me a card. He was like, hey, man, you really need this. And my mom wouldn't let me do any sports as a kid. She was like, I was like, yo, can I do hockey? Or no, not hockey. Can I do basketball? No. Can I do baseball? No. She was worried I'd get hurt. And then I asked her for this. I asked her to do karate, and she's like, gives me the one sport guaranteed to get me punched in the face.
Yeah, I was going to say, ironically, the one that you would probably get that the most over anything else.
Let's give you the safest sport, the one where we're just going to punch you a lot.
Yeah.
I was like, all right, cool, let's do that. But I never stopped, and it's helped me out a lot. It's been my entire career, my entire life. It's been something that I've enjoyed. It's been something that I've been able to help people with. And I think it's fucked up that there are people who take advantage of other people through that medium.
I fully agree with you there.
Saying they take advantage of it.
Yeah, absolutely. Obviously, for people who don't know McDojoLife, did it start as a Facebook or Instagram page or originally?
It started as a Facebook page because Instagram wasn't even a thing yet when I started it. And then, of course, Instagram popped up. People were like, yo, you need to get this. So I did as soon as I could. And then Instagram has evolved so much that it's so
absolutely.
It's so more geared towards interacting with people. So I can interact with everybody that follows me like real quick. And then Facebook is all right. It just kind of becomes a land full of haters. So like anything that you do is never good enough on Facebook. For some reason, Instagram loves me. I don't know why.
I actually find Instagram's a fairly positive application overall, I find. I mean, people have their opinions on things here and there, and obviously I'm sure you've had your comments from people who are annoyed that you're calling someone out, or they think it's like that's their art or something similar, but overall I think people are pretty supportive.
Yeah, I get threatened about once a week.
Yeah, right. Like actually threaten like they like, I'll come and fight you. Or
Yeah,
something
people
like
actually want to like. This is actually the first thing I've ever done that I've like announced where I was going because
Yeah.
there are actually people who want to hurt me because I made fun of their master, their style, or whatever. It's very old school to me.
Yeah.
It feels very Ronin. Like I get to travel the lands and go to tournaments and try not to get beat up every day.
Yeah, right.
So we'll see how it goes.
I mean,
The day is young.
it's interesting that people do threaten you. I wonder if they just think you're a Facebook guy who's just trying to call people out, or Instagram sort of pages is calling people out, or whether they actually realize you're obviously quite a skilled fighter, given that you've got 2 black belts and various other bits and pieces.
Yeah, I don't really give a shit, honestly. If I thought they would hurt me, I wouldn't have probably made fun of them.
Yeah, true, right? And half of them are fake
I
martial
think
artists
that,
anyway.
I don't know. I think it's a little deeper than that, though. I think that what the real problem is that this is their belief system. It's very similar to like their religion. And when you try to take that away from them and take away the legitimacy of it, and, you got to figure some of these people are putting in 15, 20 years into bullshit. And, they've had 15 or 20 years of this hammered into their head.
Yeah.
And so when I go to them and I go, this is fake, it's almost like, how dare you call what I do fake? I've been doing this for 20 years. Like, just because you've been doing something for 20 years doesn't necessarily make it right. Like, for instance, if I said 1 + 1 is 3 for 20 years of my life, that's still not right. It's fucking wrong. And then when somebody walks up to me and goes, hey, man, I hate to tell you, but it's actually 2. Oh, how dare you tell me it's number 2? I've been saying it's 3 for 20 years. Like, it just ruins people's belief structure. It really hurts them to the core.
Yeah, it does. It definitely does. I actually wonder, because obviously there's got to be some sort of like brainwashing, or I don't know what you'd call it, like culty sort of behavior in some of those as well. Like, for sure.
Oh,
but
yeah,
I
man.
wonder.
It's just...
Yeah, legitimate. I'm sure you've probably seen it, which I'll definitely get to at some point. But when it comes to the culty behavior, I wonder if it's like, because cults, it tends to be quite easy at the beginning, and then it gets more intense, and then more bizarre things people can get away with. But I generally wonder, like, if they start off by doing punches and kicks and the basic blocks and things like that, or whether they go straight to magic.
I have to assume that they beat around the bush a little bit, right? Like, if you walked into a studio for the first time and you were like, that guy's levitating people with his mind, you'd probably be like, I gotta go find the next studio. Yeah. But like, if you walked in and they're like, well, everybody teaches a front kick, so you walk in, they're teaching a front kick that day, you're going, okay, well, that could work, right? And then over time, they're like slowly making you drink the Kool-Aid. But I mean, that's kind of like the experiment of me going to these studios, is to really find out a little bit more about how it works and why. A lot of people want me to go to the studios and beat them up, and I was like, that's just stupid. That's not gonna prove anything. Yeah, that just proves I'm a big dick for trying to beat people up.
I feel like but
if I walk in and have them talk to me, I just want to hear what they have to say.
Yeah,
like, what's the logic behind how they're brainwashing thousands and thousands of people? Because that's not really how many there are. There's thousands of them. That's why I never run out of material.
Yeah,
you would think I would. But I don't. I go, all right, crazy asshole karate, and then boom, it pops up. Like, oh, there's a page of it. I just find which one makes me laugh hardest that day.
Posted.
The incredible one is like, there's ones that are sort of semi-believable. So when they're doing like crazy moves, like ninjutsu. But the one we shared that we put on our page, like the guy with the log, it's like you walk around with a log around your back and take someone down. Like, what the fuck?
That's definitely
that guy killed me. He actually had another one with a gun disarm. I don't know if you saw that one.
The tap on the knee?
Yeah.
Like, he's like, I'm gonna have my partner take his finger off the trigger for his safety. I'm like, what? Which it's funny because in real gun disarming, like when you're actually working on gun disarms, you usually do have your partner take his finger off the trigger because the trigger guard will do something called demeating the finger. So when you snatch that gun and their finger's still in there, that trigger guard's going to hurt their finger real bad. Yeah. So for that kind of stuff, I get it. But for what he did, I was like, what were you worried was going to happen? The gun would not fly out of his hand? Because that's what would happen.
But they're totally ignoring like the adrenaline of someone's trying to actually hold you up with a gun. Their adrenaline's going to be pumping. They're going to be holding it tight and all stuff. And he's just like sort of super compliant. Just standing there, It's like, he just taps it out of his hand and catches it.
Just like that.
Not to mention the fact that if somebody wanted to kill you with a gun, they just would.
Yeah, exactly.
There's
very seldom.
It's another thing that's kind of silly to me is like a lot of people who train with firearms and things like that, that they know exactly what to do with a firearm. Like firearms instructors know what to do with a firearm. Like they know the dangers, they know all the safety precautions. But it seems like martial artists who just shoot guns sometimes don't go through the stages to become like certified in that. So then when they talk about gun disarms, they forget little known fact like, okay, well, first of all, no matter how this goes down, that first round is going off.
Yeah.
Like, I'm sorry. You go for the gun,
Yeah.
the first round's going off,
Straight
and
up.
it's going to be scary as shit, and you're going to crap your pants,
Yeah.
and you may get shot. Like, there's a lot of factors, like, to this. So I hate to see it oversimplified like that, because it's not a simple situation.
And I actually
You know,
find
it's
that
gun.
dangerous.
Yeah, it's like, just give them what the fuck they want. Look, here's my wallet, here's my
Yeah,
phone.
take it all.
Right? If he wanted to kill me, he would have already killed me.
Mm.
I mean, think about it. Why do I need to hand it to him if he wants to kill me? He would just kill me and then
Take it.
take my stuff.
Yeah.
You know, so like he obviously just wants my shit. Just take it. I'll cancel the credit cards. You know, but I don't know. That kind of stuff is infuriating to me because that's the kind of mentality, and especially how egotistical that particular instructor is.
Yeah.
It makes you feel like, oh, you can do it all nonchalant and casual. Wait until somebody puts a real gun in your face.
Yeah,
Let's see you hold your composure, bitch.
It's like James said with the adrenaline and stuff. It's just you're never going to think in this calm, casual manner, no matter how long you've trained it either. But on top of that, I
even
think,
in a regular fight.
yeah, exactly, and it's also just kind of immoral to teach people as though they could apply that, because if someone actually tries to handle a situation like that in the way that they're taught by these essentially, liars, they're going to have a really hard time.
Yeah, or get shot or hurt.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. And because they think, oh, I'll be able to do this. That guy told me how to. I'll just calmly swap this here and we're good.
Yeah. So have you actually called anyone in person? Like, have you gone to like any?
I've called out a few people over the years. Like, what the hard part is like, especially here in the States, you guys are in Australia, right?
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so y'all are it's already beer o'clock for y'all. Like,
We're
my
drinking
days
Guinness at
start-
the moment.
But over here, like people are sue happy. They will sue you over anything. So it's very, very hard to get around slander and libel.
Yeah.
Which easy ways to get sued around here. So when it comes to that, I have to be real careful about how I call people out, so I don't catch a lawsuit.
Yeah.
So you got to be real careful with what you say and how you say it, especially now that I have so many more followers.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, all it would take is like a couple of my followers to find this person's page, go to there, shut them down, and then next thing you know, they don't get sued. I get sued.
Yeah.
They're like, yo, you slandered our name and you ruined our business. Well, it could be, that's why I'm real particular about the videos that I post. Like certain videos are just an instructor on a bad day. There are some instructors that I posted have been known in the community for years. They are great instructors. They just have one bullshit technique that's hilarious. So
Yeah.
I post it. I don't need to ruin their life over it.
Yeah.
Some of them are dead. I try not to slander dead men's names because they're dead. Who gives a shit? Do I really need to attack the dead guy?
Yeah.
And then, but certain ones I really want to go after. Certain ones I do call out. So there was actually one in Australia.
Oh.
I had a video. I forget the guy's name, but I did post his name because on the YouTube video, his name was posted. So all I'm really doing is relaying information.
Yeah.
So I post the video. It's him doing a pressure point knockout. So he touches the guy in the arm, he touches the guy in the bicep, and the guy slaps the guy in the face or whatever, guy knocks out, right? I was like, you could skip all that shit and just slap him in the face, but whatever.
Yeah.
So then I post his name, and then I go about my day, because that's usually what I do. I usually post one time a day. I move on with my day. I'll check in and chit-chat with people, but I'm done posting for the day. And one of that guy's instructor students hit me up on my DM. He DM'd me, and I was like, hey, how's it going? He was like, you're a piece of shit. And he was cussing me out every time he got a chance. And I was like, dude, I don't know why you're so angry. I was like, look, the video I posted, I'm not taking down, because I think people should see it. They should see this guy's face and his name, and maybe that'll stop him from teaching that garbage to other people.
Yeah.
Or if he'll just stop teaching altogether and won't be able to get students because we'll all laugh at him. But then the guy just kept cussing me out all day, and I kept responding because it was great. I was like, this is just good content.
It doesn't annoy
I was
you.
like,
You're
I'm
just
gonna
happy to
copy
do
and
that.
paste all this. Yeah. It's like you're just giving me stuff for tomorrow.
Yes, this
So
is
I
just
copy and
ammo.
paste the entire conversation I posted. So the next day, after I posted the conversation that he had with me, I posted his name, his instructor's name, his instructor's studios, because he had multiple studios, the addresses to every studio, the phone numbers to every studio, and then a profile picture of that guy. And I was like, here you go. Have fun, internet. And, I move on with my day. Well, that blew up. I didn't expect it to. It had like 1 million views or something like that within 24 hours. I was like, oh, shit. Okay. Well, that guy's studio went from like a 5-star review to like a 1-star review 24 hours.
Wow. You have the power.
There's a little something here. But I was like, good, because that's like, and then the instructor hit me up and he was like, yo, you need to take this down. You can be legally liable for all this. And I was like, no, I can't. I was like, first of all the information that I posted was information readily available on the internet.
They'd already posted
I didn't tell anybody to do anything to you. I didn't tell anybody to give you 1-star reviews. People just assume. I was like, hey, they're going to do with what they want. I was like, but this is your student representing your studio. And he's coming to me and cussing me out. That's a direct representation of your studio and what you teach. If you don't like it, you need to tell him. Well, he kicked that guy out of the studio. And then he was like, he begged me. He really did. He was like, please, please, please take this down. I was like, okay, I'll take it down, but you got to apologize. You apologize, and your student needs to apologize. And of course they did. Now, I don't know if you guys watch South Park. You watch South Park?
Yeah, I have, yeah.
So there's an episode where one of the characters says the N-word on Jeopardy or Wheel of Fortune.
Oh, yeah, I remember this.
And then that's a big deal.
No, it was MAGA.
So, and then he says it. And then, of course, Jesse Jackson, he's the representative, and he's like, you got to apologize. And then he goes to his studio to apologize. And when he does that, Jesse Jackson's version of him apologizing is he pulls down his pants and asks him to kiss his ass. And that's supposed to be the apology. So I posted a GIF of that, of him kissing that guy's ass. And then I posted apologies after I took down their stuff. I was like, yeah, I'll post that, but y'all both kiss my ass. Like, y'all obviously what is wrong. Still, I'm not gonna like apologize for that, but thank you for apologizing to me for your 2-star review. Your 1-star. Yeah. So, I mean, I just think that they should be shut down because they are dangerous and they are cult-like behavior and they will get someone hurt. They don't. Exactly. I don't think they deserve a seat at the table.
Yeah, 100%. I've got to say, you definitely you do things with tact and style. It's a no wonder your page is clearly growing quite quickly at the moment.
It's amazing how like these people still follow us. I mean, like I think I've heard Rogan talk about it, like before the UFC, everyone said like, oh, this guy could kill you with one death touch and all sort of stuff. We've had like, what's the UFC been? Was it 1991 maybe? You had this like 25 years. We've had 25 years UFC of proven mixed martial arts where people get in and. I mean, right at the early days, all the shit ones were just pushed aside. And it's shown that the true forms, martial arts like Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu and Muay Thai and those ones. And I mean, even like boxing has sort of had a little bit, but not really, do you know what I mean? Like, because they're restricted by the moves they can do, but people still believe that these things work and death touch. And like, it's proven.
It's crazy that none of these UFC fighters are using pressure points.
Yeah, exactly.
They're so common and easy to reach.
It blows my mind. Why wouldn't you just knock them out with your mind? It's so easy.
But it's happening.
Well, I think that people try to always take the path of least resistance if they can help it. Like naturally, people are always trying to find an easier way. Like for instance, we're on computers right now. Somebody was like, "Yo, there's got to be an easier way to do this shit." Well, the problem is that when it comes to your fitness and your health and your self-defense, it's probably one of the rare things where you don't get a choice, but you have to work hard. Like there's no other way around it. If you want to get good at this, you have to train your body and you have to work at it every day and you have to really put in the work and the effort. But there's a lot of people who still don't believe that. They go, man, there's got to be an easier way.
What's the easy way out?
So then they look at this fat guy and they go, damn, that guy's out of shape. That's like me. He has diabetes. So do I. And you look at him and go, wow, if that diabetic guy can knock people out with his mind, why not me? And so they go, all right, well, fuck it. I'll just do that. It looks way easier than that jiu-jitsu shit. Those guys are sweaty, and they're thrown around.
It looks like work.
Fuck that. I'd rather just touch the guy in the arm and knock him out. That sounds way easier, And I think that's kind of it. Another thing I think, though, is it's like a religion, which is where that cult mentality comes into. And if you look at a lot of martial arts and you compare it to religion, it's so similar. It's really creepy. Like even legit arts, right? So you walk into the studio, depending on the studio, maybe you bow, right? And then that's a sign of respect. But also religion has a lot of bowing. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Stand, kneel, sit. Muslim religions, they go all the way down and they take a whole complete, like,
right.
X amount of time out of their day to bow to a certain direction, so it's very religious-like. And then you walk in and then you might give the person like a title like master or sifu or sensei. Well, that's kind of very similar to saying pastor or preacher.
Yeah,
and then you walk
that's
in,
true, actually.
line up a certain way. And then when you line up, you all line up facing a certain way and in a certain order because that's the way things are done. Well, fuck, when you go to like a church, well, look, that the people who are in charge are sitting in certain places and in certain positions. So it's like a stone's throw away from a religion. The only difference is our religion is hard work and sweat and making ourselves better every day through dedication to the art.
Yeah.
But it's very easy for somebody who's charismatic, like one of these like big name preachers, to walk up and go, you know what? I'm going to show you the way. I'll be your mentor. I'll make you better. I'll fill in that hole in your life. And then there are these people who are looking for religion and they find martial arts instead. And then they go, man, this guy's the guy. He's going to help me. He's going to be my mentor, somebody I've always needed. And they take advantage of it. They teach them bullshit. And because they're charismatic, the people fall for it.
Yeah. That's a really interesting point,
it's
actually.
scary shit.
Yeah.
I've
It's
never,
scary.
Yeah, 100%. It is. It's just taking advantage, and it's not fair on people who are essentially in a part of their lives that's obviously, if they're in need of leadership, then they're obviously not in a good place. And then you have them paying for a service that's not going to work if they're in a worse place and someone's attacking them. It's a slippery slope. It's not nice. It's good. It's actually refreshing to see people like yourself though calling it out. It's that's why I think we followed you for few. I take pride in saying that I followed you a few months before Joe Rogan mentioned you, so I was like, I was in there first. But
what's that been like?
that sort of blew you up a bit too, as well, didn't it?
Yeah, that was cool, man. Like I've been very fortunate with that. I've never really spoken to the man. I don't really know him personally. I just happen to run a page that he enjoys looking through, and for that, that's very cool to have another martial artist, like in general, appreciate what you do. Because like I'm not gonna lie, like I'm never a big starstruck guy, but whenever he shouted me out, I was like, oh my god, he said my fucking page's name, which seems silly, but I mean it was very cool, and it did kind of open up a few opportunities because really the whole goal of the page is to have a lot of people see these people's faces.
Yeah.
So that way, when somebody who's never done martial arts before looks this person up, hopefully the first thing that pops up isn't that person's studio, but one of my videos making fun of them. And then they go, oh, well, all of these people are laughing their ass off at this guy. I don't think this is the studio for me, or that's the ultimate goal, is to stop that. Because really it's a community idea. The idea is that it's not me. I'm just the guy who happens to be posting these videos. The only way that we can really make this work is if the community gets involved to go, yo, that guy down the road, he's full of shit. And then they go down there, they film him, and then maybe they send it to me, or maybe they post it themselves. I don't care. And then a lot of people have eyes on them. And then so that way it'll make people second guess when they go, you know what? I'm a convicted pedophile. What job should I have? I know. I'll start a martial arts studio. At least everybody in the community will go, no, fuck that. You don't know. You don't get to be here. You're ruining what we do. And it does. It ruins what we do. 100%. It waters it down for everybody.
Would you say that there's a trend in a sport in particular? Because obviously there's a lot of martial arts. I think I find it's more kung fu and karate as the two, which I find unfortunate because I both trained in kung fu and karate, and I find it hard to tell people that I do kung fu because I find a lot of them are kung fu.
Well, I think it's a shame to ever feel ashamed of the art that you've learned, because every art has their own something positive to it. For instance, just in kung fu, for example, right? Tell me what's better to watch, right? A movie that has two boxers, or a fucking sweet-ass kung fu movie?
Yeah, definitely kung fu.
I'll take the kung fu movie all day, son. Shaw Brother, any of that, right? So it has its place, right? I'm not saying that it's not. And then kung fu has a lot of eye gouges in it. That's a big thing in kung fu. A lot of things like Bill G and things like that, eye gouges. And then if you look at the upper echelon fighters, like UFC is always going to be like a golden standard for a lot of people. But if you look at that, all it takes is usually one eye gouge. And what's the biggest thing that people complain about in the UFC? The gloves. Because why? The fingers are exposed. People are getting poked in the eye a lot. Well, that means that that's effective.
Yeah.
So I would never be ashamed of any art that you do. What I would be ashamed of is the people who are fucking it up for you.
Exactly.
Because there are people, there are people out there who are ruining it. You know, it's a shame. Like what I've always been terrified is that in our lifetime, there'll be arts that die off because people are ashamed to do them
Yeah.
because people fucked it up for them. You know, like I love Kung Fu. I love Wing Chun Kung Fu. I think Wushu is very cool stuff. I love seeing Aikido stuff because think about it. Don't like Aikido 99% of the time, useless bullshit. But hey, we got Under Siege. Under Siege was a great movie.
That's
You
true.
know what I'm saying? So like there's a time and place for everything and people forget that it's martial arts. It's typically like slapped together as like one word, like martial arts, right?
Yeah.
Well, to break it down, you have martial and then you have arts. And in my mind, there's place for both. Like there are people who do this that are really, it looks really fucking cool. And you look at that and you go, man, that's cool. That looks very neat, right? Like acrobatic kickers right now, that's a very cool thing to see. Like high level Taekwondo guys, they'll jump in the air and they'll spin like 1,000 times and kick. That's fucking cool. Now, you would say, oh, that's useless. But then you look at a guy like Raymond Daniels who does a 720 and knocks a dude out in a kickboxing ring. Well,
Jesus.
maybe it is, maybe it ain't.
Yeah.
You know, but like at the end of the day, most of the time it's for show. And then you look at what else, man? Wing Chun Kung Fu stuff. Like you look at that, some of it's good, some of it's complete horseshit. Like center line theory, you know, like that's a simple thing to understand, and that's in high level jiu-jitsu. Don't cross your arm or you're gonna get armed, that kind of stuff.
Yeah, we use that, and the style I do is like I suppose mixture of street style but kung fu, but centerline guard's probably the only thing defensively that we do use from any other kung fu, I would say.
But I mean, it's a legit thing, you know, like someone's punching you in the face, defend that area. Like that's not hard to understand. Boxers do the same shit. They move their head off a center line, they pat, they parry. The only difference really is like, I guess, like you typically with the kung fu, correct me if I'm wrong, rather than patting and parrying your hand left to right, it's usually just taking up center line, more like a straightforward movement.
Pretty much, yeah. Certainly in those styles as well, like Wing Chun. The only difference with that, like our style sort of goes back, like carries the fist and stuff, so you move with it sort of thing. But overall you sort of... It's the one thing that deviates is essentially we don't stay in the center line, which is what, Wing Chun stuff literally are just flick, flick, flick sort of thing.
Yeah. It just exists there. It's funny because like all the martial arts really are like puzzle pieces. They connect somewhere with technique. You know, like what you were just describing is basically like a slip in boxing. You're just incorporating the pat. You know, you're moving your head off center line. You're patting the hand out of the way. So, I mean, if you look at a boxer and the boxer goes kung fu shit, and they go, bitch, I'm doing the same thing you're doing. Like literally it's the same thing.
Just looks fancier.
So, I mean, I think every art has their place. I just think that the problem, what you were talking about earlier to the original question was, is there any particular arts that go that way more? Is that jiu-jitsu kind of has weeded itself out because of the way that it evolves itself. Because of the way it started evolving was it comes from Japan, it goes to Brazil. When it gets to Brazil, you know, he teaches Brazilians, and all the Brazilians go, you know what, this is good, but let's test it. Let's see what happens. And then so they test it over and over and over again. They do the Gracie challenges. They battle test it. They improve it. Well, that's great. Like they're really trying to improve an art and make it better. Well, they did that. And then they go, you know what, let's battle test it even farther. Let's put it on a big stage and prove to the world that this works. So, of course, 1993 comes, UFC 1 hits, and everybody's blown away. Oh, my God, how did this little man defeat all these people? What did he do? Like, no one's seen this shit. And then anybody who was already in the martial arts back in the day in the 70s, they were like, jiu-jitsu's gay, man. Them men rolling around with men.
Hug each other.
Like, okay, it's gay until they choke to sleep. You know, oh, I'm sleeping now. Oh, that's so gay. No, they just choked you out. Like,
they stopped
gay.
your
They're not trying to
breathing.
fuck you. So, but then you look at the evolution and you go, man, and it's still evolving today. Like John Donahue, like those guys from doing advanced leg lock systems and stuff like that. It's trying to evolve. Well, when's the last time karate, Taekwondo tried to evolve their art?
Yeah.
You know, like you get Taekwondo and they're evolving the art, but not the martial part. So you get Taekwondo is really flashy, jump spinning kicks and stuff like that now. And that was how they evolved. And then karate right now has going through a little bit of an evolution because of guys like Machida, GSP, Raymond Daniels, Stephen Thompson, Michael Page. Because what they've done is they've taken karate and they've incorporated the footwork and stuff like that in MMA.
Yeah.
So there's a little evolution there, but like it's not nearly the same and self-regulated. So the old school mentality of karate and kung fu where it's like, hey, peaceful, inner peace, respect, love, like hippie shit. That kind of stuff made them not go after people because they were like, hey, you have the right to do whatever it is you want to do. We feel like you'll just fail on your own. Well, that might not necessarily be fucking so. Then you look over at the jiu-jitsu guys, and the jiu-jitsu guys don't play that. Like, if they find out you don't have a black belt, they go to your school. They go, hey, let's roll. They crush your spirits. They soul out of your chest. And then they leave you on the side of the road and go, you know what? You don't deserve to have a black belt. Take it off. And they make you fucking do it. Karate in them, they don't. No. And it's a shame because maybe they should self-regulate.
Oh, yeah,
self-regulate. Sure. And I'm talking about in a negative way. I don't want them to go and beat people up. But what they should do is at least address it and shine a light on it and go, yeah, instead of talking, because usually what happens is inner talking. Usually when you're inside somebody's studio or their dojo, you hear a lot of in talk. Yeah, the guy down the street shit. Don't go to that guy, right? Well, those are the people who are already signed up with you. They don't fucking care about the guy down the road because they're not going to go train with him. But what about the people who have never trained before in their life? They don't know that the guy's shit. And they might be there for the next 15 years of their life.
Yeah.
They might. Hypothetically, they walk in, they go, this is my shit.
They love it.
Then they stay. Yeah, it's like, dude, you're perpetuating a cycle. Shut them off. Cut off like a dead toe. Cut that shit off. That way it doesn't infect everything else.
Yeah, that's true, actually. It's a good way of thinking about it. It's, yeah, I find it it's a difficult sort of thing, but I think you've called out quite a fair few people at this point. But do you notice that there's a lot of people that actually don't have black belts? So is that a common occurrence in the things you've called out before? Guys that actually don't have any training at all?
That happens quite a bit. Like, usually what you'll see guys who have a minimal amount of training in an art. Like, for instance, let's just say karate. I hate to pick on karate because I have a black belt in karate, but that lets you know that I don't give a shit about arts. It's more about the people and who's involved.
Yeah.
But when it comes to karate, typically what will happen is they'll train to get to like their black belt, and maybe they go to like a 2-year school because some schools are like, 2 years you get your black belt, you paid for it or whatever, and then they'll have this grand idea that they can make it better somehow, and they forget that they're already been going. This art has been going on for what, 1,000, hundreds and hundreds of years.
Yeah.
So they go, somehow my 2 years of training is going to best the guy who taught me, who's been doing this shit for 50 years. So somehow I know better. And then they go, you know what? I think I'm going to make it better. I think if I mix this art and that art and that art, I can make a souffle of deliciousness of violence.
Yeah.
And it's like, no, you really can't, because you don't know what the fuck you're talking about. Like, a big thing in karate that what a lot of karate guys will do and taekwondo will do as well is they don't have jiu-jitsu black belts. They don't train jiu-jitsu. They've never trained jiu-jitsu. But what they'll do is they'll start a grappling club, and then they'll have grappling.
That's such a weird
Because
thing for
grappling
a
is an in general term.
That's a really weird thing for a karate person to do, though. That's like that. I did karate at a few different schools I went to by moving. Not one of them taught grappling at all. I don't know how they'd think they could teach that.
That's kind of like an evolution. So let's say, for instance, I like the lemonade stand. Like, I always go to that as my analogy, right? So let's say I have a lemonade stand and you have a lemonade stand, and maybe I sell jiu-jitsu lemonade, right? So I'm selling jiu-jitsu lemonade and you're selling karate lemonade. Well, the flavor of the week that people might like more might be jiu-jitsu lemonade. So more people are coming to my lemonade stand. So you have to figure out a way not to go out of business. So what do? Do you go out of business, or do you find a way to go, you know what? I might not teach jiu-jitsu, but I teach something like that. So if that guy is only giving you jiu-jitsu lemonade, I'm giving you karate lemonade and grappling lemonade. And grappling
which is
like
basically
the same thing, right?
Yeah, that's the same.
So that's kind of what happens in business is they don't want to die and fall to the wayside. But rather than do the work and actually go train jiu-jitsu, put their ego aside and go, you know what, I'm not a black belt in this, I'm a white belt, I'm going to learn this, and then I'll be able to teach my students better. Their ego kicks in and like, no, man, I've been doing martial arts for like 25 years, like 30 years, like 180 years. So since I've been doing martial arts for like 180 years, I already know how to grapple, man. It's the same shit. It's like, no, it's not. It's not the same thing. You're making it up and you're repackaging it and branding it. And then now, not only are you fucking up karate for everybody because you're lying, but you're also fucking up jiu-jitsu because these people think that's what that is.
That's what
it
is.
And you made this shit up. You watch YouTube a bunch. Like, sorry, Sensei YouTube doesn't open up a studio. Like, you can't do that, man.
To lead on from that, I was know recently you've seen like there's a lot of online jiu-jitsu courses coming out, and I think even is it Rickson Gracie? He started his own right now. So do you think that's going to cause more problems where people take a short online course with their mates and then they think they know it all as well and they go on from there? Do you think it's going to sort of water down the sport as well there from that? Because lots of people are doing it now.
I think that it all depends on how the standards are, because I can't particularly speak on those because I don't know what their standards are.
Yeah.
I think that if you're going to train with a friend and you're looking at videos online, I don't think there's anything wrong with that. What I think is something wrong with that is calling yourself an expert or getting your black belt through an online course.
Yeah.
You know, like if these videos, like let's say for instance you're do you know what agoraphobia is?
Yeah, like fear of open spaces.
Yes. So they basically don't leave their house. So these people stay in their home, you know, maybe they need something to try to get them moving or loose or whatever. So maybe they have a friend that comes over, they train jiu-jitsu, right? This is hypothetical, obviously. Well, obviously that person might not ever get their black belt or get their blue belt. They might just be in their home training. Does that mean they couldn't kick your ass if they didn't train 8 hours a day in their home? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So the thing is like, what do we consider legitimate? And at the end of the day, I personally think that an instructor should see you in person. They should be there, see what you can do. I don't know what the requirements may or may not be. Some places do testing. Some people, it's all about time. I'm a big time guy because I don't think that everybody is going to be able to do the same things everybody else can do. For instance, like this person will never have to worry about a street fight because they'll never leave their home, right?
Yeah.
So what's your real standard? But when it comes down to testings and belts and ranking, I think that you should actually go to an actual studio.
Yeah.
You need to train with a lot of different people because there are different body types. There are different aggressive levels. There are different skill sets, right? So some person might be great at leg locks. Well, don't you think I should roll with them to have that experience to call myself an expert? Like if I never train at that, how can I call myself an expert in it? So I think that the online stuff, I think it's a good tool to help you get better because if you're actually using it. But I think that if you're only using it to get yourself rank, it's fucked up. Like you shouldn't do that. Like you should not. I should not have to mail you a belt. The only way you should get a belt from me is I should have to hand it to you.
Yeah,
know?
for sure. In like some sort of
studio.
Religious ceremony, as you should.
No, but it should be like I should like. For instance, if I look at somebody who's playing golf. Golf is fucking boring to watch. If you ever watch golf, it's the worst shit ever. You look at it and go, God, this sucks. Like, if I was a golf instructor, I might be able to look back and go, yeah, your swing's kind of shit. You can do this to improve.
Yeah.
But if I really want to teach you, I have to be there 2 feet away from you and look at what's going on and go, oh, there's little subtleties here and there that I wouldn't be able to see on camera. So I think it's important. Plus, as any good instructor usually will do, I need to actually spar with you. I need to see what you're capable of,
100%.
your timing, your reaction speeds, what you do, and when you're under pressure. Because there's a lot more to it than just being good. There are plenty of people who are good at the dojo who are terrible when you put them under pressure. You know, plenty of people that beat people up when they're sparring, but then they get onto the ring and they freeze or they choke. You know, it's like those are kind of important situations to have.
Yeah.
Oh, 100%. That's actually 100% true as well about the feedback. That's a necessity as far as I'm concerned. The times that I've learned the most, especially, is when you're doing something wrong, and it's just one tiny thing. So say you've got an elbow in an odd place or something, and all it takes is one time to be like, oh, I see what you're doing. You're putting your elbow this way. Change it slightly and fix it, and it works, and then you train. But to not get any feedback like that whatsoever, you don't really know what you're doing wrong when you're just practicing in front of a screen as such. I'm sure it's useful for some things. Like, I guess my opinion on it would be that, you might find it useful in a situation where you weren't sure you could ever defend yourself. But it's
well, here's an example. Just one example of like maybe it'll be relatable. Can you take an online sex course?
No, it doesn't work. I've tried.
What?
None
you
of
mean
them are
you actually
legitimate.
have to have another human being there to do this act? That's crazy. That's martial arts. You can't just be in your house. That's called masturbating. That's not the same thing. So like it's basically like the online courses are the masturbation of the martial arts community. It's like you're not doing anything. No one's satisfied by the end of this, and you're just left with a bunch of regret and sadness. It's like, oh god. It's like
It felt
that's the
rewarding at the
equivalent to
time.
me.
I think unfortunately a lot of it is that status. I think people just want to say like, oh yeah, I'm a black belt in jiu-jitsu or a black belt in this sport. And it's like, well, that's cool, but have you trained it with people? Have you demonstrated your ability in any way? It's okay. Each to their own, I suppose, but I definitely wouldn't get one. But hey, I've heard you're actually going for 10 black belts before you die. That's your aim?
That is true. I would like 10 before I die. So I will see. Life is short, so I'm going to keep trucking along. But I think that it's good to be able to have all these different experiences. It's hard to talk shit about things that you don't know.
Sure.
So I only try to talk about things I actually have information on. Yeah. There's definitely arts that I don't know a lot about that I'd like to learn more about. For instance, from what I've seen online, like Krav Maga is usually a double-edged sword. There's usually guys who are very talented at it. There's a lot of cool stuff like firearms courses and things like that. I do think that if you're going to be a good martial artist, you should learn how to protect yourself with some type of a weapon, no matter what that weapon is, because it's a possibility. Whenever somebody puts their hands on you, there is always a possibility a weapon can come into play. Just being in a room, you could pick up a lamp or whatever. So you should be trained in a little bit of everything, I feel. But, I mean, if you really want to call yourself an expert, I think that you should be constantly trying to improve and learn. Because everything's evolved.
Yeah, for sure. It's interesting. Did you, is there any sport you definitely want to try out? So, for one of the black belts, say, anyone you've not quite done yet but you'd be interested in?
Well, as of right now, like, my interest has been in more like, I guess you could say, the culture side of fighting and things like that. There are definitely some things that I've been wanting to do that I guess they're not necessarily in the arts, but they are involved in violence and fighting. And I say violence loosely, like violence is different in every culture, but there's this place in Peru. They do this thing called the Takanakwe Festival, and they do it every year around Christmas time. And basically what it is like a 2-week-long festival where all the Peruvians in that land will get together and they'll just fucking fist fight each other.
Wow.
I was like, dude, I gotta be down with this. They just drink for a week and they fist fight. This is my party, man. That's where I want to be.
We have Stereosonic here. I think that's similar. That's basically a punch-up festival.
A music festival.
But I think that kind of stuff's fascinating to me because to them it's not taboo. It's not a bad thing. It's a part of their culture. So I think that it's nice to see, like, if you really want to talk about fighting and you really want to talk about self-defense, why not look at these cultures that have been doing it for years as a celebration?
Yeah.
Like, instead of it being, oh, man, if you do that, you're going to jail. These people are like, fuck it, let's go. The cops will be there helping, Another thing that I find fascinating is over here in the United States, now, you guys might be able to help me out with this, but over here in the United States, certain states have this thing, it's called a mutual combat law. So basically with mutual combat is that me and another person agree to fight, we can just fight.
Yeah.
And as both agree not to sue each other, and as long as nobody's seriously and medically injured, then that's it. So I've always wanted to participate in something like that just because it's a very interesting thought that you might not necessarily be mad at this person, but you could literally just go up to somebody and go, hey, excuse me, sir, me and this other gentleman, we're going to go into this mutual combat fight. Is that cool? And he will just watch you do it. Yeah. Like, to me, that's mind-boggling. Like, we could do this shit?
That would definitely never happen here.
Yeah, I don't think so.
That's crazy.
It is.
It'd solve a lot of problems over here, but that would never fly here.
So not a thing there, huh?
No, God, no.
Not at all. But an interesting one, though. Yeah. I don't think that would be a bad thing necessarily. I mean, what we have here, unfortunately, is a lot of people who do things like king hit, we call it, which is essentially sucker punching someone in the back of the head.
Yeah.
That's like a pandemic thing here. So I think if people could actually agree to fight, it would actually probably solve more than it would damage.
Australia's taking like a transition from like men that would literally do what you just said there, have a fight, one guy falls down, then you give your hand and you lift him back up, to like this where people literally, they don't like you, they'll punch in the back of the head when you're not looking.
Yeah.
It's like, it's weird.
What a bitch.
It's a coward way to act. Another word for it is coward punch. That's like a slang thing for it here. To I suppose, discourage people from doing it, but hasn't worked so far, unfortunately.
But maybe that mutual fight would help.
Maybe we need that law.
I mean, it's interesting. Like, I'm in Florida. In Florida, we don't have that law. Like, if you fight, you're both going to jail. Like, I think the city or the state can press charges or whatever. But in any case, you can't just randomly fist fight people. But I think Washington, you're just allowed to, as long as you both agree verbally.
That's awesome.
They're just like, all right, cool. Do you know who Phoenix Jones is?
I don't think I do, no.
So this is gonna blow your mind. So Phoenix Jones is a superhero,
Right.
Yeah.
like not a make-believe superhero. We're talking about a real life dresses up in costumes.
Oh, right. This is a person who thinks he's a superhero, or is a superhero.
Yeah. Well, he's famous for this because like he actually like they do like basically like a citizens patrol thing where him and a couple other people they dress up in superhero costumes and they travel like the city and they look for things to help. And 9 times out of 10 they're usually like just helping with little things, right? Like for instance, you can look at his videos online. There's a deep rabbit hole of that stuff. But he was actually an MMA fighter, so like he's actually a talented fighter.
Wow.
And then there's a video of him enacting the mutual combat law where he was, which is kind of interesting. There's a cop that shows up and he's like, "Yo, guys, this one guy wants to fight me." He goes, "Is it cool?" And the cop's like, "Okay," and then he beats the shit out of this man. I'm like, in a superhero costume. How bad do you feel? You got beat up by a guy.
Actually, like the superhero. That's excellent. Have I not heard this name? Phoenix Jones. I'm going to remember that.
Jones,
yeah, we will definitely be sharing videos of this person, I think.
Yeah, it's great, man. But, he's just out there trying to help people, like in his own way. Like, they know the laws very well. They don't overstep their bounds. Basically, 9 times out of 10, they're stopping people from just drunk driving.
Yeah.
They're just being good people. They just dressed up really weird.
Yeah, they just had to get some tights before they went out.
You know what would make our street safer is spandex. All spandex.
Yeah, people run away.
Yeah. I think it was Stephen Fry that said, if anyone ever attacks me, I just pull my pants down. And it's like, they don't want to attack me anymore. They just want to leave. So that would work.
It's a solid plan.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's, I was going to ask something. I've completely forgotten what it was. Oh, I suppose, where do you want to go from here? So, are you going to continue just calling people out? I sort of saw you were going on a tour.
Well, I'm in Orlando right now. I'm at the world's not the world's biggest. I'm at a big martial arts tournament. It's televised and stuff like that. So basically, while I'm here, I have to. Sorry, I started over my words there. I'll restart, rewind. Basically, what I'm trying to do is I can't tear down the bullshit unless I build up the things that are actually legitimate.
Yeah.
So.
True.
If I just only tear down things, then that means that really people will always just be concerned and worried to post anything legit. So my goal is to start doing interviews and start talking to people who are legitimate martial artists and let them explain their art and let them have their art come to the forefront, especially if they're good. There's no reason in whatever it is they do. Now, some of these guys might not be able to fight their way out of a paper bag, but some of the things that they can do is incredible. So, I mean, why would you downplay their skill and what it is that they're good at? So, for instance, I wouldn't be mad if my mechanic couldn't cut my hair.
Yeah.
He's a mechanic. He does car shit. He doesn't do hair shit. Well, it's the same thing when you look at martial arts. This guy's an acrobatic kicker. He's going to be a great stunt man, but he might not be able to fight very well. Do I give a shit? No. As long as he gives me a John Wick 3, I'll be happy as hell. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, sure.
So... when it comes down to the arts, I can't just tear things down. It gets nowhere. It really does. It doesn't help the cause. What helps the cause is to get people to back you and to go, you know what, we're all in this together. We're going to make the legit martial artists come to the forefront. So that way, whenever these people, the brand new people, start looking for studios to train martial arts for their first time, the people who are legit are at the front. The people who are shit you can't find because we shut them down. So it's a double-edged sword. But another thing that I'm doing is I'm going a little harder in on the studios that I think that are faults. I'm actually going to be going to their studios in person. I'm setting up trial classes with them as if I was a brand new student. I'm going to record everything from the phone call that I have with them to set up the trial, to going to there, record me going into their classroom, taking their class, and then sit down with them after the class is over and just explain my viewpoint and go, hey, man, I think that these A, B, and C needs to be corrected because who knows, man? Maybe these people are brainwashed at one point in their life too. I kind of feel bad for them.
That's true.
And then if they're willing to make the corrections, then why shouldn't they be allowed to grow as a martial artist and to teach something that's legit? But if they're stuck in their ways, then I'm gonna call them out. I'm gonna be like, yo, dude, you have an option. Like, you can either start trying to learn something that might help your students, or you need to be shut down. And that's really the options. I'm not going to do it. I'm not the guy who's going to shut you down. I have a community of people who are backing me. They'll shut you down.
Yeah.
They'll be the ones that go onto your page. They'll be the ones that give you negative reviews. They'll be the ones who try to write articles about you. I don't have to do any of that. All I have to do is be the figurehead to just walk in first
and show you
and go, you know what? I'm willing to be that martyr. If I'm the one that people are mad at all the time, if I'm the one that people are threatening all the time, I'll be that guy if it makes the arts better. You know, like it's a sacrifice I'm willing to make, because really at the end of the day, after a while, it shouldn't just be me.
Yeah,
you know, it should
you can grow
us,
like a community.
Go, you know what? That's bullshit. We shouldn't let that fly. But I think people are scared to step up because they don't want to step on toes and they don't like the politics. Fuck the politics. I don't care if this guy doesn't like me or not. He doesn't deserve to be even here at all. He's teaching people how to knock people out with his mind. Do you want that to be the representative of karate for you? You know, that guy's representing you. Just believe it or not. You know, if you do karate and he does karate, he's a part of what you do. So you can either cut off the dead toe or you can let him exist and he's going to fuck your shit up. He's going to be the reason that half of your students are over there learning how to knock people out with their mind or whatever they do. So I just really care about the arts. I really do. I don't think that it should be bastardized and taken advantage of by these shysters who are out there just taking advantage of people. And I think it's dangerous. I really think it's dangerous. I'm really scared for some of these like self-defense videos that come out. You know, it's like this 110-pound woman gets jumped by a 220-pound gorilla man. And then all of a sudden, like, oh, well, I'll just poke you in the arm and you'll let go. Like, no, they won't.
Just twist this
like,
and you'll fall over.
Yeah. It's like, none of this works that way. But, like, people eat it up because it looks so simple. It's
Easy,
not, like, anybody who's listening to this shit, martial arts is not simple. No. It's not easy. It's hard work. It's dedication. And you have to put in the time every day, all the time, or you're not going to be great. You'll be okay. You'll be good. But you're not going to be great unless you put in a lot of time and effort and work. And even then, even after years and years and years and years of training, you might still lose. Like, that's another thing. There's no magic pill. Yeah. You know, like the big dude who outweighs you by 50 pounds and you learn an art that doesn't allow you to take advantage of that, he's going to fuck you up. I'm sorry. Like, if he knows how to fight, he's going to mess you up. Like, you got to practice.
Yeah.
100%. I think it definitely shows that you clearly do care about martial arts. Actually, I didn't know so much about what your plan was to, like, you know, with regards to actually shouting other people out who are doing well in martial arts and actually teaching legitimate stuff. It's a good balance, really, between obviously showing the real aspects of martial arts versus the fake ones, and it's almost like a set of, it's like a reviews, but more awesome in a way, because they're like literally reviewing martial arts in a way, but making it in a way that people can make their informed decisions.
Yeah, I don't want to dictate anybody's opinion about what they believe is, because there are guys who believe that jiu-jitsu is the end-all be-all, and I don't want to take that away from them if that's their conviction and that's how they feel. I don't personally feel that way, but I don't feel anybody should have to feel how I do. You know, as long as you're enjoying the arts and you're doing it legitimately and you're not taking advantage of people, like, I don't care what art you do. If Aikido is your shit and you love Aikido, I say Aikido it up. Wrist lock the fuck out of everybody on your block. I don't care.
Ponytail, do it.
You know, but don't sell that as the end-all be-all to self-defense. Just don't sell it that way. Don't package it that way. You know, for jiu-jitsu, you know, that's great. You teach jiu-jitsu. That's amazing. I love jiu-jitsu. I've been doing it for 8 years. But let's be honest, you can't teach it as the end-all be-all. You know, is it a great art? Is it an art that will teach you self-defense? Yeah, but here, let's take that and let's do, I don't know, teach me how some knife fighting with that. Oh, fuck, it's not in your curriculum because you don't know how to do that shit. Okay, well, maybe you should learn that from another art. You know what I'm saying? So it's not always the end-all be-all. So I think that as long as people are having fun with it, no matter what art they do, that's awesome. If it's helping them in some way, awesome. But if you're lying to your students in some way, then fuck you. That's it. All there is to it.
Yeah, 100%. It's been really good to have you on, man. We're actually, I didn't really tell you about this. So at the end of our podcast, we tend to do a music choice of the week. So usually like an album or a song or an artist. I guess I'll ask you, if you can think of anything, would you have anything to train to? Say, what song or artist would you train to?
Actually, there's a local band that I've been liking a lot lately. It's they're called the Honey Hounds. They're like one of my favorites right now. But they have like this beachy blues music, and I like that mellow music when I train. I do. I just always have. Like, I like that relaxed because it gets me relaxed. I don't have to I don't need hardcore music to train to. You know, I just want to be nice and chill. Like, I do shit every day, so I don't need to I'm not 20. I don't need to like, oh my God, I'm gonna put on the heavy metal and like crush the human being. Like, no, dog, I wanna train and enjoy myself.
Yeah, that's awesome. Get in the zone that way. I suppose that'd be good. We've really enjoyed having you on, man.
Yeah,
It's,
man.
good.
Appreciate it,
Thank you for hitting us up, and I hope you get on Joe Rogan. I would love to hear an interview with you on Joe Rogan. I honestly think if you continue on the path, which is clearly growing, you'll get there. I reckon. It's actually really good to see people like yourself doing it.
I appreciate it, man. I appreciate you having me on. I'd love to be on Joe Rogan, but that's up to him. I'm not gonna beg the dude. If I do, I do. If I don't, I don't. Either way, it's not gonna stop me from doing what I do. So I'll just keep
100%.
trucking along, and I'm just kind of going with the flow, man. Like seeing where this takes me, because as of right now, it's been kind of cool in the last couple months. Like, I'm in Orlando now for this. I'll be in Albuquerque, New Mexico next week with Master Ken, shooting with him.
Oh, he's hilarious.
Which is, yeah, dude, it kind of blew my mind because it was kind of neat. He congratulated me for my shout out and all that, and then I was like, hey, we should do something, and he was like, okay. I was like, really?
Oh, that's awesome.
All right, cool. Let's make that happen. And then I'll be in Nashville, which is going to be kind of neat because my goal when I go to Nashville is to find one of those Kempo places because that's where Elvis Presley trained.
Oh, that's right.
So I
In
hope
the nice
I can find
red,
one of
red
those
suit.
Elvis Kempo type karate places. And like I just love the arts, man. So I like having the opportunity to travel and chit chat about it, and and hopefully get rid of some of these people who are frauds.
Yeah, definitely.
Man. Cool.
Well, thank you for making martial arts a better place. We wish you the best of luck.
About all that.
And thank you for coming on. We really appreciate it.
Thanks, man. Thanks for your time.
Yeah, man.
You can catch up just very briefly for our listeners. You'll find Rob on McDojoLife if you haven't heard that mentioned in too much of this podcast. So McDojoLife on everything. Hey, so Instagram, you're on Facebook, and there's some YouTube videos as well. So you can obviously see him there.
Okay.
Excellent.
Thanks, man.
Thanks for coming on.
Catch
Yeah, thank you.
So that was McDojoLife.
Nice dude, eh?
Really nice, yeah. He definitely cares about the arts. I think it's really good to see.
Can't believe how much I didn't talk.
Really?
I wasn't in my element, man. I mean, yeah.
If you're if you're listening, McDojoLife, if you're listening to this back, James is just not a martial artist, and that is why
I was starstruck.
he was starstruck. That's it. It's not the not martial artist thing. It's that he was starstruck.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, man.
either way,
No,
I
it was
enjoyed
good,
it. I
so-
think it was a good episode, and
First
you
guy-
still brought up good points. You asked some good questions that were a bit external to martial arts, which is good.
First Skype.
First Skype. So let us know how you felt about it.
Yeah.
Like, if you like stuff like that, we can definitely try and organize some
Yeah.
more Skype interviews and things. So let us know with feedback. Give us feedback. Tell your friends. Subscribe to McDojoLife.
Yeah, man.
You can do that on Facebook or Instagram. He does have a YouTube channel too. As he mentioned, he's going on Master Ken next week, who's a funny martial artist, like comedian page on YouTube, which is awesome. And yeah. And if you're in Florida this weekend, which is very unlikely,
If you're in Australia,
you
yeah.
can go to the World Championships.
Now, before we wrap this up, I want to say thank you to McDojoLife, but
Yes.
I want to move on to another event. England climbing the ladder.
Yes. It's coming home.
Don't get
Football's
cocky yet. They've got to
coming
get Sweden
It's coming
and definite. So
It's coming.
you, like an asshole, didn't watch the
You know what?
last game.
You know what it was? I was sleeping because those
No, you
times
fucking
are preposterous.
Dude, it was like 4 a.m. It was like a good time. Not like it's midnight. We're gonna watch it at midnight.
I had work directly after.
So
I probably should have watched it
Would-
though. It was a fantastic game. I watched the highlights and was kind of annoyed that I didn't
predictions,
watch
right?
it.
Tomorrow night at 12 a.m. Hang on a minute.
Now wait just a cotton picking second.
What?
12 a.m. Monday.
Did you say a cotton picking second?
Yeah, have you not heard that term?
You racist motherfucker.
I don't think anything about... That's not racist.
Yes, it is.
What? Do people not... Is that
You
really
said it
only
in a southern
associated-
accent as well.
Yeah, that's how they talk.
Did you say a cotton picking motherfucker?
Have you never heard the term like said by like a southern person, like cotton picking second?
Oh my God.
Well, I apologize for all the people I've
The
offended.
wrath
with
is
that.
coming your way. His way, not my way. Jesus Christ.
I honestly did not
I've
think
never
of that
heard
as a bad
that.
thing. Really? It's like a
You
character.
better not edit this out.
I'm not going to edit it out, but I do feel bad if it genuinely is offensive.
I'm so offended right now.
You know what? I've never associated that term with actual cotton picking, but that's terrible. That's like the first time you've been genuinely offended at
I've
something
never
I've
heard
said.
that saying before. And you
And you're
dropped
like,
it
what
like
the fuck?
a white slave owner.
I apologize profusely.
Don't get
But,
nervous.
whatever.
Nah, right. I was joking. I literally never heard that saying before.
That's okay.
Predictions: Uruguay, France.
Ooh. They both played pretty well, but
I got France.
France, yeah, I think France.
Brazil, Belgium. Where's your
Yeah,
heart?
that's-
Where's your head? That's
You know what? I would love Belgium to get through.
But your
because
head
I think
says-
I would love to be in the World Cup final with Belgium because we should thrash them in the final to be like, hey, we just played our B team when we played you before. That was like because we didn't want to play Brazil, but this is how it is now.
So. Brazil beat Mexico. No, Australia.
Yes, yeah.
But Belgium won 3-2 to Japan. So head saying Brazil.
But have Brazil played Japan?
No,
They haven't.
no,
okay.
but that's what I'm saying. Like Japan isn't like an amazing team, and they scored 2 goals on them.
Yeah,
Brazil
Japan
scored 2
actually aren't
goals.
bad. I mean, they're not fantastic.
England, France beat Argentina 4-3.
Yeah.
Ooh, so then it's between Brazil and France. That's what I'm saying, and I'm calling Brazil.
Out
I
of
honestly think Brazil's going to go to the final.
for what? So you don't think England's going to go to the final?
No, they're in different groups, mate.
Oh, you mean in that particular group? Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, so
but
England, Brazil's got to
it's
beat
Belgium
Belgium.
that's playing Brazil.
Yeah,
Yeah.
this tomorrow at 4
Do you
a.m.
so you actually think Belgium will win?
No, I think Brazil will win.
I mean, Brazil will win. Sorry, yeah, that's what I meant. But
And then they play either France or Uruguay. Who wins that one? That's
France
that
or
group.
Uruguay, France, I reckon. So France. So yeah, okay, I see what you're saying.
Brazil,
so France,
France.
Brazil. Who was it at? So it's England versus
So England's got to beat
with
Sweden,
Sweden, and then Russia or who's the other one?
Russia, Croatia.
Russia
So
or
Russia,
Croatia.
the last game,
Who do you
Russia
reckon?
won. They drew against Spain, and Croatia drew against Finland with the penalty shootouts, and Russia won 3-2.
What do you reckon?
Sweden.
Ooh, see, I'm not convinced that Russia will beat Croatia.
No,
I don't think so. I would like it because Russia aren't exactly big in that thing, and like Croatia's pretty good at usually, but
Sweden beat Spain 4-0.
yes, that's crazy.
No, I'm joking. they beat Finland. No,
Oh,
Swissland.
it's not the same.
Switzerland.
Oh, Switzerland, yeah.
They
'cause-
bought 1-0. and
1-0,
England beat. It went to penalty shootouts against.
Oh, dude, the England games.
can't
That was
believe
unfortunate. That was
can't
so
believe
close.
you watched that.
That was
Do you
so
see the England
close.
coach? Did you see England coach in the shootouts?
Yeah, Southgate.
He was like this. He was like,
Yeah. Oh, you know why? Because Southgate played right in 1996. So Southgate, that's the manager.
yeah.
He played in 1996 against, I think it was Portugal in a European final, and he was a penalty taker and missed.
Oh, that hurts.
So he hates penalties, I think. But
I can't
he,
believe they didn't score in the extra time. I was like, just score.
I know.
Just score.
I
Just
know.
score. And there was a few, and it just felt. I was like, I'm like, just push.
Yeah.
So, you know what I mean? Like, I was like, just take a shot on goal. Like, you know what I mean? But
Yeah.
they were dominating the possession. But England, Sweden, Russia, Croatia.
Who you got? Who you got out of Russia and Croatia first?
I think Russia's surprised everyone.
Russia.
I mean,
Russia
they've got-
has. I would agree with
Russia's
that.
got a good doping program, so
That was James that said that, not me.
well, it's fact.
I love you, Mother Russia.
Cotton picking is not a different
It's a
side.
cotton picking fact. Yeah, no, Russia could definitely do it, but I don't know. I think Croatia will win, but I would be happy if Russia did. Like, I think that would be pretty cool for them to get
And then
to the close.
so England could
close to the
destroy
top.
them.
It'd be cool for them to get close to the top of their own World Cup, but Yeah, I think so. You've got England over England and Sweden. I love England and want them to win, and I actually think they can.
Oh, I hope they get to the final.
What do you think?
I feel good about it.
I actually do too. It's probably the most positive I've been about a World Cup for a long time.
It's just that stupid green and gold flag with a ball in the middle.
Yeah,
those motherfuckers won it like 6 times.
They're pretty good. I think 4, but still, like you see their players come out with the logo and then like 4 gold stars under it. And it's like,
but they got Harry Kane, don't they?
That's England. Yeah.
That's what I mean.
Oh, yeah, we'll be playing Harry Kane.
Who's Brazil's biggest player?
Ronaldo?
What? He's still around?
No, I just made that up. Pepe. No, it would be the guy that throws himself on the floor all the time.
Of course.
What's his name? Zed something. Neymar. Zed something. Neymar. Neymar's their big player, and he throws himself on the ground all the time. And there's literally memes.
Shit kills me.
There are memes about him now because he's such a wimp. One of the highest paid players there are.
What about Felipe?
And he's a dickhead. Felipe. Is that the midfield?
Midfield, yeah, it is. How do you know these things?
He is a good player. He's quick. Brazilians are just quick with their feet. So I actually heard, I might have even
what
Joe
about
Rogan
Gabriel Jesus? Gabriel Jesus?
Jesus?
Jesus. But it's spelled
I don't know.
Jesus.
Jesus.
Tim Cahill.
Jesus. Tim Cahill.
You know what problem was with Australia when we lost?
We played with a 38-year-old man. Is that what was
That
wrong?
was the problem. We didn't put him in early enough.
Yeah, definitely. It's not our star player
mate.
is old.
But after watching the World Cup, I feel I could definitely get back in the Premier League. I feel an urge to start watching again, and we're going to do some live podcasts.
I'm keen on that. I would definitely do that. I would talk.
I'm hoping this goes successful, this live England final. Yeah. If we win.
So that we can do it. Would we do the... If I can get work off, which I cannot guarantee, but if I can...
I got it off, didn't I? Because, you know what? I'm committed to this podcast. Show me your commitment.
Okay. How about... I know what I could do to show my commitment. I could edit it all the time and upload it.
That's a good idea. That's a good idea.
All right, I'll do that from now on.
Yep.
I do think that England could do it, though. But would we do it if... So let's say I can get work off. Are we doing it final... with England in and no final with England in, or just the final with England in, we'll do it?
Well, when are you going to ask the time off? Like, that's the thing.
Like, I'd literally have to ask Monday.
Yeah, well, I've got it off. I'm committed regardless. We should do it regardless.
So you're just saying, if I can get work off, we'll do it regardless.
Yeah, it'd be better if England are in it. I'm not going to lie there. I'd be like, whoa. Just imagine, all right?
Hell yeah. I'd be
they won it was it 66 the last time they won it?
Yeah, 1966.
Right? Just think about that, all right?
Jeff Hurst.
They might not win it for another fucking 60 years. How much longer?
Yeah.
Almost 80 years. You might even not be alive if they win it again. And you'll be like, I had to work. You can say to your kids, I watched that. And you want a matter of fact, you can listen to what I was thinking the whole way through.
Yeah. That's true, actually. That's an interesting...
But then you might be
that is a very interesting point.
I had to work.
And here's what I was thinking the whole way through. Fucking bullshit.
Well, you could watch it. The only thing is you're going to be a little bit tired at work.
That's true. Oh, I'd be more than a little bit
hungover.
Hungover.
I'm definitely drinking.
This is why I really want it off.
I'm definitely drinking.
I would love to just get on the...
You're going to watch it regardless,
You know what we have to do? Okay, if
England go to the final, don't tell me you're going to I have work, I'm going to sleep. You're going to watch it, aren't you?
Yeah, if England are in the final, I will watch it, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
And if you're not watching it, I'm going to go to my dad's.
I'm definitely watching it.
Because I guarantee he'll have a few guys around.
Yeah,
and
probably
we'll get drunk.
knowing your dad.
Yeah.
Yeah,
the final. England in the final. That's a big deal, man.
I'm not going to not watch England in the final. That would be phenomenal.
I still want to jinx it.
I was
so freaked out at that penalty shootout, man. I was like,
yeah.
I was on the edge of my seat, dude. I was dying. I was like, oh my God. Jimmy's like, oh, it's bubble guppies. I was like, oh, you have no idea, mate.
You will love this one day. You're British inside.
You're only one generation removed. Two, one, I don't know. Yeah. So.
Good times. I think, I'll definitely try and make it work. I'll try my hardest to get something sorted. But yeah, I'd be keen for that. And yeah, that would actually be pretty cool to be commentating live at the time. Well, see if we can do it live. I would very much love to do it live. I have to work out YouTube. Just in general.
Live, then we just broadcast it.
We'll still put it out there regardless.
Then if you're recording it, you can listen to it while you're watching.
Yeah, or just play it back in your memories from times to come. when you have kids,
Is there any
you
way-
can say, this is what I listened to at exactly the point in time that happened.
Is there any way we can listen to the sound through our headphones but not the mics?
Yeah.
Yeah, because you want to hear the commentary for them, so we can...
As in, we don't want to hear the commentary.
No, we do.
Oh, you do, so that you can remember players' names.
No, but you know what I mean? Like, you like listen to commentary and stuff like that.
Yeah, for
But then,
sure.
because you can't broadcast it on... You can't record
No,
it.
we can listen to it through the mic for sure, yeah. Absolutely.
Roger.
No
Cool.
problems made.
Oh, well,
Excellent. Thank you again for listening. Thank
Yep.
you again to McDojoLife for coming on. We had a really great time talking martial arts. And hopefully, I think we'll be seeing more of McDojoLife around.
hell yeah.
Stay tuned, and
Come
we'll
on,
be
Rogan.
back next week. Bye.